There we go.
And we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. It's another Saturday morning on the Devil Made Me Do It podcast. Thank you. And today we've got one that's a little closer to home. I mean, for you in a way too, because you're from
Yeah,
California.
yeah.
So you don't live in California anymore, but you
Not
were from
anymore.
California. I'm still currently in California. And this serial killer is actually still alive. She's still in where is she? She's in Chowchilla.
Chowchilla right now. Yeah.
Chowchilla, yeah. Today we're going to be talking about Shopaholic serial killer Dana Sue Gray, and I will tell you that this bitch takes women be shopping to a whole new level.
Girl.
Gosh, she created her own kind of retail therapy in this shit. Yeah, this lady would trip me
Pretty
out.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was a very short-lived one too. I mean, not lived like physically
No,
lived,
but
but
yeah.
for short run, if you will.
There you go.
Yeah. So since this is the topic that you picked for this week, I know we spoke about this a little bit before we started. I'm going to let
Yeah.
you take the reins on this week,
Alrighty.
and I'll just kind of jump in and out, off and
Okay.
on. So,
Sounds good.
alrighty. So yeah, I guess we can start whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. So Dana Sue Gray, the old lady assassin, is one of the
Mm.
many videos I found on her today or last week called her. She was born in California, December of 1957. When she was 2, her parents had divorced. Dad was a hairdresser. Mom was an ex beauty queen, all about looks and not really much of what other people thought about her, I guess. Because after they divorced, mom made life very hard. She was very vain. She's very aggressive with Dana herself. She also Dana learned from her mom that if her mom told her no about giving her money, she would just simply take it out of her mom's pocketbook and then go get candy with it. That was her I don't care type attitude. She took what she wanted.
What a little
And
fucking brat, dude.
pretty much, it said that she was known to throw like temper tantrums if she didn't get what she wanted, and then she would wait until her mom wasn't looking and steal money from her pocketbook and go to the candy store or just go to the store and shop, which began the beginning of her shopping addiction. She used it for a lot of things, but when when Dana was about 14, her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer and died very shortly after being diagnosed. Um, she then decided that she was going to be a nurse to help take care of the sick people. But when her mom passed, she kind of lost the drive to do that anymore. She still continued schooling. Um, in school, she didn't really care about her grades. She was more into the athletics and running, and
Mm.
that's where she found her place. She couldn't find it at home from her dad. Her dad ignored her after mom passed for the most part. He wasn't a loving father. He was always in the salon doing somebody else's hair.
Mm.
Um, she she also, at the age of 17, was a very large adrenaline junkie. Anything she could do to get her adrenaline going, she was doing. She started skydiving at 17. She actually fell in love with one of her instructors, and they ended up. Oh, she ended up getting pregnant, but he made her terminate the pregnancy.
Aw.
So that was the first, like, oh, this poor girl. I kind of feel sorry for her in a way with these, like her backstory. But then
Yeah.
some of it, it's like there were warning signs that nobody really caught on to,
Right. Oh,
basically.
when she was little though, real quick, I'm sorry. I want to. There was something that I found that I thought was like really crazy. Like, when her mom punished her, like I think there was like because her mom, like you said, her mom was like very vain and into like herself.
Well,
Um,
she's a former beauty queen. It's kind
yeah,
of that mindset, I
yeah.
feel.
I saw in one of the documentaries that like she took one of her mom's favorite dresses and like cut a big ass hole in it because she was mad at her.
Yeah.
I was like, what a little biatch. Like, I would, oh man, if that was me, I wouldn't have teeth left when I was a kid, man.
Right? Shoot, if I rolled my eyes.
Yes.
But she was also known to hang around with like the rough and kind of outcast kids.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one documentary that I had watched, and there was only one that mentioned this, but she even was known to torture animals, like small animals.
Oh, the
Like they would put it on
catapult.
like a catapult and fling it across the beach or whatever. Because she's a California girl. She loves the sun. She's always tan, always out doing something.
Yeah. Like flinging cats. Oh my God. Yeah,
Right?
that made me like, what the hell? Like, that is psychotic.
That, like I said, warning signs that people kind of ignored.
Yeah.
If that was the case, if, you know what I mean. Um, now, after she had terminated the pregnancy, shortly thereafter, she ended up marrying an old classmate, Thomas Gray, in 1987. She was she got her nursing degree after they got married, and then a position at Valley Regional Medical Center. She then moved to Canyon Lake about three or moved to Canyon Lake with her husband. They had multiple businesses together. They never say what the
Oh.
businesses are, but they had a lot of businesses. She was known because of that. They had a lot of money. They had 3 cars, a small plane, um, a large home, very well off. Spent money like she blew her nose on the toilet paper, just that
Yeah.
quick. And let me get this. And just to give you an idea of the area she lived at in Canyon Lake, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman had a summer home or something out there
Oh,
when
damn.
Rob was younger. He remembers driving past the property and he saw Nicole and Tom outside unloading groceries, just simple things. But
What?
yeah, it was a gated community, so everybody felt safe in that
Okay.
community. That was another thing I wanted to point out. Just they felt comfortable there. They didn't have to worry.
Oh, she felt real
Um,
comfortable apparently in her life.
she did, yes. She used shopping to help with her depression, like we said before, along with multiple pills. Being that she worked at the hospital, um, she she was stealing from the job painkillers. She was also taking meth. Some of the ones I watched said, I don't know how true the meth part is, but I do know the pills are for sure. And it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Um, then she meets her new boyfriend. Her and her husband their divorce hadn't even been final yet, and she was already dating somebody else. Um, she actually went to meet up with her husband on February 15th, 1994. Her ex-husband was about to meet up with her about the debt on the Canyon Lake house that they were about to be foreclosed on because they were millions of dollars in debt.
Oh
And
shit.
and
She should have
so
sold some of them pills.
right, instead of taking them. Um
Yeah.
she she while she was waiting, her ex-husband actually stands her up. So she's like freaking out in her mind, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this money to at least keep the bills at bay until next month or whatever? But her new boyfriend, they call him Jim Wilkes, and his son, Jason, who is 5 at the time of all this. Um, that's not their real names. Those are Jason is the one that Rob was really close with when they were growing up. Their dads were both in a band together, Rob's
Mhm.
dad and Jason's. And they actually they started hanging out about the time um, Jim was getting his truck back from the police, from because she actually took his work truck and He made, Rob said it, not the big boards with the big fans on them. She loved to go like paddle boarding, but with a big sail
Oh,
behind them type thing. I can't think of what
yeah.
it's called right
Like the
now.
kayaking or whatever. Oh wait, not
Yes, but no,
kayaking.
it's like a stand up board, and they got a big paddle, and I think it's
Oh,
got a big, like the glider, hang glider type
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. I
They've
can't
got
think
they've
of
got
it
a couple
either.
different styles, but that's what he did for a living. He made those
Oh.
and was in a band. Um, Jason's dad. Um, and let's see. After she was stood up, she actually went to go visit Jason and his dad.
Hmm.
But while she was there, she kept thinking, I know how I can get this money. My mom or my stepmom's ex mother in law, make sure I got that right.
I know I was getting kind of confused too on like
It's
all
kind
of
of
that. I was like, shit,
confusing.
that's not clicking in my mind how this is working right now.
Exactly. Because after her mom died, her dad then got remarried.
Yeah.
And that woman's mother is her first victim.
Yes.
She knew that the first victim of, oh, where did I put her name? Norma Davis. She was her stepmom's former mother-in-law, and she was 86 years old. She knew that the woman kept large amounts of money in the home. She wasn't very healthy, the old lady,
Hmm.
um, but Dana knew she had a good relationship with her, so she went to visit. Well, shortly after she arrived, she she stabbed her in the neck and chest and beat her. And then hours later, a family friend um, found Norma. Uh, the torn telephone cord was one of the things that was still wrapped around her neck.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
they found a size 6 shoe imprint of a
Hmm.
Nike athletic runner. Um, there was blood stains on the armchair. In one of the documentaries I did read, they said that her fingernail was torn off, like she was trying to bite
Ooh.
her off. However, there was no forced entry. So it shows that she did try to kind of try to defend herself,
Hmm.
but being weak and not healthy, this young woman just took took complete and total advantage and
Oh my
and killed her.
gosh.
And it's also said that once Dana was found guilty of her charges, that is the one murder she never had to claim. She never had to tell her father that, or her stepmother, that she's the one that actually did it. But there was enough evidence to say, yeah, but it wasn't strong enough to put it up in court. And because she confessed, they just left that one alone. She never actually had to admit to killing Norma.
I thought that was crazy too because she never got any conviction for it. She got
No,
nothing for that one.
no.
And when they were investigating, because like you said, that was like the first murder that she
Hmm.
did. They weren't sure because females are not a likely suspect. They're not a, I mean, there are female serial killers and killers out there, but they're not likely. It's mostly men. So when they were
Hmm.
investigating the crime scene, they were thinking it was either a really small man or that
Yep.
it could maybe be a woman, but they were kind of leaning
And then
towards a
leaning.
small man,
Hmm.
which is crazy. And oh my gosh. And it's so sad because a lot of times women that are serial killers, hello to Richard real quick, by the way, and our viewers right now.
Hello.
Um, a lot of women who are serial killers or killers, they do a lot of intimate killings, if you will. They know the people, they trust
Exactly.
them.
Exactly. It's more of, like you said, more intimate, more personal. Like they know what affects that person, so they're going to do everything they can to bring them to their demise by
Yeah,
using what they know about them.
yeah.
Whereas men, not to say all men, but most men are more
Random, kind of,
random,
almost.
or just not really thinking at first, just kind of doing it and then going, oh crap, what did I just do? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's the type. But so 14 days after she kills Norma, she's used all the money. All the money's gone that she stole. Never did take care of the bills, of course. So um then she meets June Roberts, which was a friend of her stepmom's.
Hmm.
She knew her. Um, oh, I'm sorry, friend of father's stepmom. See, this stuff is confusing for me.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, it's like we gotta like spread out on the tree and figure out where the fuck she
Right?
land.
Where
Which
did she
leaf is she on the
belong?
tree?
Okay, June Roberts was a friend of her father's stepmom. Um, she drove with the five with Jason in the car
Hmm.
to June Roberts' house. He waited in the car. She then strangled her and hit her in the head with a wine decanter bottle, one of
Hmm.
those fancy ones, and then went shopping. Not only did she go shopping with Jason, she took him to go get a haircut. Both of them.
Yeah, that
She
was.
got her hair cut and colored. She was naturally a blonde, and she went to a red color.
So she's trying to hide it and mix it up a little bit, and
A little bit.
that's super
Because
disturbing too. That she took her, basically her stepkid, with her to do this. Like, no
exactly.
remorse,
And
nothing.
they weren't married. Jason's dad and her. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend, but
Okay,
Jason considered her his other mom.
right. A
You
motherly
know,
figure to
they were
him.
really close because he was getting to go on shopping sprees with her and get all the new toys and all this stuff. I still don't know why that they actually changed their names in the story. I guess is to protect the innocent, but I don't know why they changed the dad's name.
I don't know. Maybe he really just didn't want it out there. Maybe he did something
Possibly,
in court. Maybe he like had it, maybe he had it changed
possibly.
legally in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I never understood that part either. I'm like, but even if they changed your names, if even if the courts kind of did like a, kind of like a witness protection type thing,
Hmm.
why would they keep you in the same town?
Oh,
The
that's
same exact
true.
town.
That's true.
Because that was one of the things Rob and I talked about a lot
Yeah.
watching this. Um, but once they went to the hairdresser, um, I think it was a couple of days later, the the police was trying to figure out the who killed the first victim,
Hmm.
Norma, because they were at a loss. The only person that they really could point a finger at was Dana's stepmother, who was her ex daughter-in-law.
Hmm.
Because when when her husband died, um, Norma became her burden, if you will. She didn't
Okay.
consider her a burden. However, she was the one to take care of Norma, make sure Norma was okay, and all this stuff. She was always at Norma's house, and actually, I think it was Norma, or was it June's? Might have been June's. Um, one of them, they were upstairs. I think it was Norma.
Oh yeah, because didn't she say that like she stopped
She
by to drop off groceries or
stopped off
food, and she was
groceries
upstairs,
and
but she
food,
didn't
and
go and
she was
bother her?
upstairs, and she heard the TV on, so she just thought she fell asleep with the TV on and didn't want to bother her, so
Yeah.
she didn't holler or nothing. If she'd have just gone upstairs, because
Yeah.
I think it was June. So let's see, and then it comes to the third victim. I have a hard time pronouncing her name. Daharia, I believe is how they pronounce it.
I thought it was
Hawkins
Dora. Is it
or
Dora?
Dora. Okay. Oh, I couldn't remember. Um, she herself had 8 kids.
Jeez, that's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. And she was working in a antique shop.
Oh yeah,
And
this one.
yeah. Dana went in to look for a picture frame for
Oh, no,
her
no, I'm
mother's
sorry.
picture.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I messed you up. I totally messed you up. Because I
Did
guess
you?
there's a Dora Beebe, and then there's a Dorinda Hawkins.
Dorinda Hawkins. Yeah,
Dorinda had the antique store. Yeah.
yeah. There we go. Yeah, I see Dora down here
Yeah,
now.
sorry, my bad. I'm like trying to look at notes and stuff. I'm like, oh no, I totally messed her up.
It's all good. But Dorinda Hawkins worked at this antique store, and um, it was one that got Dana actually caught
Mm,
because she didn't kill her. She went in with the purpose of picking out a picture frame. She walked to the back of the store with Dana. While she was in the back of the store, the next thing she knew, she had a nylon rope around her neck and she couldn't breathe. Dana was strangling her from behind.
mhm.
And while Dana was strangling her, of course, DeHonda was begging for her life because she had 8 kids. And she asked her, please, please don't do this. And Dana actually said, I'm not doing this for the money.
What?
Yes. And this is the funny thing. She stole $5 from Dorinda's pocketbook.
Hmm.
She stole $20 from the register. That's all she got that day from that after
What the
strangling her.
hell?
Mm-hmm.
So now she's kind of doing this just for fun at this point? Like she kind of like
Yeah,
enjoys
actually, I
it?
take it back. She went shopping with Jason, but after Dorinda was killed, because Dorinda saw her hair colored, that's when she took her and Jason to the hair salon. She wanted her hair cut short and colored red, and
Yeah.
Jason got a cute little bowl cut.
Oh, the bowl
Um,
cut.
yes, but Dana had just strangled her till she passed out, and I don't know if Dana thought she was dead and just was like, "I'm done, let's go." But that's what happened there. And then when police had were investigating, of course, she gave them a full description of her.
Mhm.
So when the police got the description, there was one detective that went back to Dana's stepmother and asked her if she knew, gave him the description, and then she said something about, or I'm sorry, the detective said something about the female suspect having a small child in tow, that
Ooh.
called her mom, a little 5-year-old
Mm.
boy at that. They had everything, her whole description and everything, and her stepmother didn't think of her because at the
Right.
time she didn't know she was in a new relationship with
Ah.
Jim and had Jason. But shortly after that, let's see, just wanted to
It
see.
ended up being in newspapers or something like shortly after,
Yes,
right?
well, after the first murder, being that it was such uh, a, a gated community, very rich,
Mhm.
high class, up, but it was also known for being on the other side of it was a elder elderly kind of retirement type trailer park, but it was a nice one. It was the high
Okay.
end one. Um and it was in there with it, and a lot of the other tenants, I guess you would say, started fearing because more and more elderly women are being killed, and they don't know why. They don't know any connection to it. So of course, it's all over the newspapers, news stations as well. And that was another reason why she had to disguise herself, because now they had her description going out too. And then comes to Dora Beebe.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, Dana had followed Dora Beebe from the bank.
Ah.
It says here, yeah, follows her home from the bank one day, and or that afternoon, and then uh she pretends like she's lost, and she goes up to her door, and says, hey, can you give me directions? And Dora Beebe was kind of iffy, with everything going on. I mean, it was so bad that a lot of the elderly women would actually get together and kind of have like sleep outs because they thought they were better off in numbers. So like
Okay.
they would get together at one person's house and everybody would just, eat and drink and, hang out. But they were so scared. So, and a lot of them moved out of Canyon Lake area altogether and moved back in with family members because they were worried. They didn't know what was going on. But after she followed her home from the bank, and asked for directions, Dora Beebe was like, oh no. She seemed kind of hesitant to give her directions and like she was busy, like she was perturbed
Yeah.
with her. And a lot of that pissed off Dana. And she's like, that's it. She grabs the phone cord, strangles her, and beats her with the electric iron.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Like
crazy. I
the
think it's
back
crazy how she keeps finding phone cords, and I'm so glad those aren't a thing anymore
thing
because
anymore.
everybody
Thank
has
goodness.
wireless and cordless cell phones
Oh,
and shit.
yes. Well, it was crime. Honestly, the murders were whatever was around her. She
Right.
just grabbed what she could that she knew she could take advantage of. Because again, all of these women are elderly and
Mm-hmm.
not in the greatest of health. So she knew she could get what she needed. Um, After she kills Dora Beebe, Dana was in the bank less than 20 minutes later, withdrawing $3,000 from her account.
What?
Now, mind you, detectives had been talking with her stepmother and everything. So they were already watching Dana. They were watching Dana right after the final murder. Like they were on her tail. Like they watched her go to her home. They came back, she went to lunch, then she went um yeah, she after the bank, she had lunch and took her time. Just was having a good old time after just murdering somebody and taking $3,000 from their account. Um,
She's like, I'm gonna shop today. I got more than
I'm like,
$25. I'm gonna shop today.
mhm.
Oh my
And she had
gosh.
an expensive lunch. And when the detectives were watching, they noticed the young boy with her yet again. So
Oh.
somewhere throughout the day, she even had Jason with her for a little while. They said she was calm when they arrived, when the officers actually arrived, and they started confronting her about what they knew. They
Mm-hmm.
had physically seen her in the bank trying to get money out of the woman's account, Dora Beebe's.
Ah.
So they knew they had all this evidence ready to say, we know what you are, we know what you've been doing, but she tried to lie. She
Okay.
tried to say that she found Dora Beebe's pocketbook and bank book, and she was needing money. So yes, she stole the money, but she had nothing to do with her death.
So like
Like
finders
she was
keepers kind of deal.
exactly. She was like, I needed the money. Yeah, I used it. They go, then why did you go to her bank account?
Yeah, it's like how did you know where to go and what the fuck?
Exactly. That's how she knew which bank to go to because she had followed her home from the bank to begin with.
Yeah. Wow.
And they confronted her with the evidence. It finally came down to first degree murder charges for two of her victims,
Yeah.
which meant the death penalty. So, of course, what does Dana do? She tries to play the insanity card.
Of course. Well, she kind of is in a way. I mean, I don't
She
know. She's got
is, in a
something going
way,
on.
she's got a lot going on with the miscarriage and the having to terminate pregnancies. She was having a rough go of it, the pills. So she was trying to cure her own depression with the pills and the shoplifting, or not the shoplifting, but the spending money,
Well,
because
I mean,
she got so accustomed to it over the years that was her feel good time. So she
yeah.
tried to make that last.
Well, to be fair, I think maybe it kind of stemmed from when she was little, because a lot of
What her
people
mom. Mhm.
that end up being serial killers or psychopaths, when they're very young, they steal, they harm animals, small animals that
Mhm.
are defenseless. They act out, they do all these. She kind of already started fitting little pegs at a young age.
Like I said,
And
it was
yeah,
just never picked up on, I guess,
yeah,
or they
exactly.
didn't think like that back then. I don't know.
Yeah, then that's not to discount, that the miscarriages didn't cause any kind of
Oh yeah.
mental distress or emotional
Oh yeah.
anguish to her that might have elevated those things more. I'm sure they absolutely did. But I think, yeah, like you said, the things just were not picked up on when she was a kid. And I don't, it kind of makes me wonder, like, was it things because of her parents, or was she born with something, like
And
a screw loose somewhere? Like,
and a lot of people think that too, because they mentioned that in one of the videos that I watched too about her. Now, the first time I ever heard about this story, I want to say it was 2010, maybe
okay,
between 2010 2015. At that time, there was only one video you could watch, and it was like
right.
a 60-minute, you know, 60-minute little documentary. You know how they used to do highlights on stuff like that back in the day.
Hmm.
Now
Dateline.
there's so many different videos that I was able to look up, and more information about her past, because Rob had no clue. Even though he
Oh,
was kind of close to the situation, he didn't know her.
right.
He knew his friend and his friend's dad, because at the time I want to say Rob was 94. Let's see, 11, 10, 11. So he was still
Okay.
young himself too. And Jason was 5. So that just gives you, when they got together for band practice, all the kids hung out,
Yeah.
and played video games and that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, when Dana tried to play the insanity or the mentally ill card,
Mhm.
um, things didn't the things that she did during the murders
Mhm.
proved that she knew what she was doing, and she knew it
Right.
was wrong. Um, with the whole incident with Jason being at the second crime scene, for sure, that we know of, sitting in the car. She left him in the car for a reason. She didn't
Yeah.
want him to witness what she was about to do. Um,
Yeah, little kids tell on people. You don't want them snitching
Not
on you. It's like, just stay there
exactly,
and we'll go get some ice cream. We're done. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't tell your dad shit.
exactly. And she hid evidence. Um, she 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 did a lot of things that wasn't right.
Mhm.
And granted, it wasn't enough for back then for them to pick up on. With technology was just, if you think about it, like crime
Oh,
scene
yeah.
analyzation was in its infancy back then.
Oh, absolutely. Because they've been finding like all kinds of serial killers from the past now, because they have like the DNA family linking stuff, and
Hmm.
it's just gotten so insane. It's like it's eventually it's like, when are they going to finally connect them all these cold cases together, because
Exactly.
the technology is that like good right now. I mean, I don't know what else you could possibly do anymore at this point to catch
I
people.
don't think you could. I think they've gotten so advanced with it. Like, the next stuff is going to be straight futuristic stuff, which is going
Yeah.
to be awesome. But another thing, now that Dana is in prison, like you said, she is in Chowchilla. She's serving 2 life sentences with no possibility of parole. But she still has her shopping addiction, even in
Hmm.
prison. This woman has sold her dirty underclothes,
Her chonies,
her dirty chonies, for like
cochina.
$250 to
Oh yeah,
somebody.
I saw that. I was like, and she like autographed him too, like on the crotch. I was
Mhm.
like, I was gonna pull a picture up, but I was like, I'm not even gonna give that any
No,
kind of promotion right now.
exactly.
Like, she's got like her own little fans only page going on basically
Exactly,
in
kind
fucking
of.
prison right now, because she
In
just has to have
prison.
money. She
Well,
has to have
she's
money.
lonely. She's addicted to that lifestyle of spending money, and she's even got art that she sells. She does drawings and doodles. Um, One of the things that we watched, see, she used to draw like clown faces,
Okay.
because she said that a lot of her victims made her feel inadequate in some way before she killed them.
Because they
Like,
were sane and she wasn't. They were competent as
well,
far as paying their
she
bills
was
and she's
saying,
not.
right? But she was saying like with Dora Beebe, how she felt agitated and like she didn't have the time to help her. So
Okay.
she was triggered back to her childhood of being disrespected, and she, that temper
Neglected.
tantrum is why she did what she did. To an
Yeah.
extent is what she was saying to, forget where I read it from or heard it from, but she was very much into trying to get out of it by saying that she was crazy, but all the stuff she did really proved that she wasn't. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was angry at the people because, or the women, because in one way or another they looked down on her and she couldn't stand that.
Ay, ay, ay. I do. I in a small, in a very, very, very minute way. I
Feel
do
sorry
feel.
for her.
Yeah, you feel sorry for her. You feel some kind of sympathy for her because maybe had her life been different growing up, maybe she wouldn't have been that way. But at the same time,
Possibly.
she was wanting to harm small animals. Maybe that would have been something that she would have done anyway. Maybe the temper tantrum
Exactly.
still would have been the same because if she was getting attention, maybe it would have been it's not good enough. I need more kind of
Yeah,
thing.
more.
Maybe not.
Exactly.
It's just all speculation. I don't know.
Of course.
But I don't know. Like I said, in some very small, very inkling, like you can't even see it on the map way. I feel bad for her,
Yeah.
but then I really don't because
Then I don't.
yeah,
Because she
because
could,
she's a brutal killer. She involved children in her crimes. She stole like all these morally bad things you just don't do.
do. Yeah.
But oh my gosh.
But yeah, she's still sitting in there today. So my husband, being the awesome guy he is, he's actually gonna pen pal her, I believe. And
Ah.
maybe we can get some, hopefully get something in return.
I want. Maybe she will. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll ask. You
Maybe
know,
she
like
will, maybe she won't. But again, like I said, Rob knows the real names. So all
right,
he's got to do is mention that, and she's gonna know he knows.
right. Maybe she'll
But
turn
if
him away. Maybe she won't. Who knows?
maybe she'll want to brag,
Maybe
who
she'll say,
knows?
"Hey, it's $10 for every correspondence," which that's what gets me because I worked in a prison for like a year. I worked in a men's
Hmm.
facility, and then I worked at a place where it was kind of halfway between getting out and still being on
And
like a probation kind of
I
deal
got
with the
you.
state and federal prison. Like you weren't free, you were still in dorms basically, but
But
you
you
still had to have
were.
day passes and stuff to get out.
Hmm.
But anytime you messed up, you'd go straight back into like the big
Hmm.
house. And I don't know what the fuck she would be buying. Like, I mean, does she have to hoard herself? Does she have to
I
hoard
guess
ramen
commissary.
noodles? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
she trying to
guess
hoard ramen noodles and Snicker
commissary,
bars
or
and
get her some fancy underpants sent back in so she can get them stinky and send them back.
those underwear is not fancy. Like she is wearing the granniest of
Granny panties.
panties. So yeah, she's wearing the granniest of panties. And it's actually quite oh man, I don't get how people are fanatical about killers, how they become obsessed with them themselves
Obsessed
and
with them.
they become in love with them and all this other stuff. I'm it. I've had people for years ask me because I've been doing stuff like this for years, like podcasting on like, you know, true crime and all this other stuff. I've had people come up and ask like, "Oh, who's your favorite serial killer?" And I'm like, you know, they're not really my favorite, but they're the ones that fascinate me the most. I don't want to say, "Oh, this is my favorite one. I'm so in love with this one," because
Oh no.
it's. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't talk crap to anybody who says it that way
Oh
because maybe
yeah.
you're not thinking of it that way. But I try. No, but I'm not perfect. I try to
Hey.
make sure that I let people know that these aren't like my favorite as people, and I'm gonna send them Christmas cards and all this other
There
shit,
you
you know,
go.
and cookies. You know, I'm not gonna go visit these fucking people like and become best friends with them and include them in my family doings. Um, but I don't get it. I don't get how some people are just so they're that deep into people. My aunt used to write Charlie Manson and get letters back from him, and she would like post the letters on the wall, like
Oh, wow.
like oh my god, Charlie, oh my god, Charlie, like a celebrity had written her, you know, like,
Oh, exactly.
and it's just kind of, it's just bizarre how people
It
do
is.
things like that.
It's very bizarre to me, like you said, but at the same time, I can see how easily it is, even though the inmate or the criminal is tucked behind bars. They're still able to manipulate people. They're
Absolutely.
very, most of them are very conniving and very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
it's just it amazes me how people get so wrapped up in that and just like you said, just engulfed in it. It's
Yeah, like they feel special in a certain way because this person is acknowledging their presence. It's like, dude, you
sad,
know this person's in prison for like killing a bunch of people, right? Like just
right?
very heinous, unfathomable, you know, like things that like people like you and I could probably never bring
No,
ourselves to do. Like maybe not even
never.
in self-defense,
Hmm.
kill another person. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot to hurt somebody like that or to kill and end somebody's
Hmm.
life. That takes a lot to do.
Oh yeah,
And oh my god, I don't understand it. I don't
I
understand
don't
it.
either.
But it is what it is, I suppose. Everybody's got their own
Own
pair of
niche.
socks they
Hey,
wear, if you will.
exactly.
Oh my
Goodness.
gosh.
But yeah, we've always, like I said, I've always been a true crime fan. Actually, my cousin's husband, they're sitting on the other end of the table. Give me just a second.
Oh, okay.
I gotta put his empty out. So
Real
when
quick.
Rob was in culinary school,
Uh-huh.
my cousin's husband, knowing that we're dark and twisted, I guess you could say, made these awesome cutting boards.
Oh,
The wood
wow.
burning. So we've got Hannibal Lecter there. Don't mind my epoxy resin I got on it.
No, well, see, Hannibal Lecter is not an
Oh, there it
actual
is. The
real
top.
person. He's just
Well, I
based
know.
off of someone. So things like that, you know, like it's
But
it's not a
then
really
there's
sick big deal.
this one.
Oh Lord, no. Oh my God, I still fucking love that.
Leftovers are in the fridge.
Ah.
I thought about hanging those on the wall over here behind me.
Oh my God, that's still pretty funny though. But I mean, like, it's just,
It's
it's for a,
comedy.
yeah.
It's for entertainment purposes. It's not like, I don't know. I guess it's
No,
like you
I get
said.
it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's not like you would go out of your way to like
Oh
send
no, no.
Dahmer a
Yeah.
head of lettuce or anything. I mean, well,
Oh
maybe
no, not at
I
all.
might as a joke, like not to become friends with him, but I might mail him like a head of lettuce, even if he was still alive. Be like, hey, I got something for you, buddy.
I got something for you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And
But
then,
yeah,
so this was a this was, like we said earlier at the beginning of the episode, this was kind of a short-lived deal because she only did this from February to March of 1994.
exactly.
So
It was
had
just
she not been caught as quickly as she had been caught, if she had not been so fucking sloppy and so greedy and so
well,
quick about everything, can you imagine how much further she could have possibly gone?
she could have possibly gone a lot further. Like,
Yeah.
who knows? There was nothing stopping her. Like, she had no remorse, no
Mm-mm.
guilt. Because as soon as she was done, what was she doing? She was out spending money, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Rob said that there was a lot of items purchased for um, Jim and Jason during this
Really?
time frame. Hmm. And
What?
he doesn't know if they had to give it back or what, but
I would imagine they might have had to because it could have probably been evidence.
that's what I was thinking. But Rob said there were some things that he knows for sure that they still
Oh, it
had.
slipped through the cracks, maybe? Oh, interesting. Interesting. That's
Band
crazy.
equipment.
I gotcha, I gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
You
Man. Yeah.
know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that she was caught as
Me
quickly as
too.
she was. Because man, I mean, yeah, where she lived down in Southern California, that is more of a, you have to have money to live there. I mean,
Oh
now in
yeah.
California, you got to have money to live anywhere here, but
Anywhere.
down there in like, Temecula and Was she out in Topanga Canyon too, or something like that, which is
I think
beautiful?
I heard something about that. I think in her early years, but mainly I think there was even something Palmdale, Lancaster, around there
Oh,
too. If I'm not mistaken, there was somewhere near there. I don't know if it was exactly there too that she
huh.
was. They said something about it. But it was
Wow.
funny watching Rob watch the documentaries and seeing the parts of town that he grew up in. And he's like, wait, I can show you exactly where I live. I used
Oh
to
my
walk down this
gosh.
neighborhood, that neighborhood. And yeah.
That's
And so it was
crazy.
kind of memory lane for him. But then the realness sunk in and he's like, ooh, yeah, that's kind of dark.
Yeah. Like, this is not so happy after all. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no,
Yeah, I
yeah.
used to walk that way. Oh my gosh.
But
Jeez.
definitely.
Well, this didn't end up being a two-parter. I'm glad for that because this lady is disgusting. So I'm glad she was caught. And I don't buy her artwork, people. Don't buy her fucking nasty ass chonies. No one,
Don't do
no,
it.
no. That's another level of fanatic right there for these people.
Exactly.
Ugh.
That's, yeah,
And I feel very bad for, the families and the victims,
very much so.
That's just, ugh.
There were so many lives that were affected by her actions, not only her own family, but she involved a child that wasn't hers,
Yeah.
although she felt like she was that child's mother. She was not really in that child's life long, but
Yeah.
it was long enough to leave him with scars for the rest of his life, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And I'm sure for the dad of him too, Jim, you
Oh,
said it was.
exactly.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure that probably caused like a lot of trust issues.
Oh, I'm sure.
To, maybe hold his child a little closer to him, like, I'm not letting you go with anybody. I mean, I don't know, I'm just speculating, but
Yeah.
if I had children, I would definitely be that way. I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
never again will I let you out of my
On
sight
my
with
sight.
anybody. With
There's
anybody, you are not going for haircuts with
nope.
anybody
Anybody
anymore.
else.
I cut your hair now. You see
All
me?
right.
Look at me. I am the captain now. Oh my gosh. So guys,
But
this
yeah,
was the story of, is it Dana or Dana? That's the one question I had for
Dana.
you. Dana. Okay, so this is
Dana.
Dana Sue Gray. She's
Mhm.
currently incarcerated in Chowchilla, California for several murders and an attempted murder for robbery.
Robin.
She's known
Mhm.
as the Shopaholic killer or the Granny Assassin, you said?
Yes,
The
that
Granny Assassin. I
somebody.
didn't hear
I
that
think
one.
it
I was
was
like,
Granny.
what?
Let me make sure.
The Granny Assassin.
Ah, what
It
did
sounds
it
like a
say?
cheesy ninja movie.
Right.
The
Um, old lady assassin. There we
old
go.
lady assassin. And it sounds like, like, yeah, like I said, it sounds like a B-rated cheesy
Cheesy
80s,
movie.
ninja movie. I don't know, something like that. The name, how they figure out how to come up with the names for these guys, I have no freaking clue. Some of them,
Me
I mean, as we
info.
go along, I'm sure we'll find really hilarious ones that are just like, where the hell did they come up with this guy's name or this gal's name? Um,
Exactly.
oh my God. Yeah, I'm glad she got done and over with real quick.
Definitely.
Oh my God. So yeah, got a couple minutes left, guys. So I'm gonna kind of fill you in. And thank
Okay.
you, Desiree, by the way, for
You're
choosing the
welcome.
topic for this week. And for Rob getting in and kind of helping with it as well.
Oh yeah.
You guys make sure you follow us on Facebook for the Devil Made Me Do It podcast. We also have a YouTube. The links for all these are in the description below. YouTube, we won't have our official name until we get to 100 subscribers. So if you guys like what you guys are hearing and seeing, this is only our second episode, and you don't want to miss another one. Make
Yep.
sure you go over to our YouTube and subscribe. Because Facebook only holds, from my understanding now, Facebook only holds the live streams for 2 weeks and then they remove them. So if you want to see past episodes or you want to make sure you catch future episodes, YouTube is usually your best spot right now. We're also, for our audio only preferred, people, we are on BuzzSprout and Stitcher. And if you guys would like to consider being a supporter on Patreon, we are at the Devil Made Me Do It podcast on patreon.com, where we are going to have exclusive information for you guys. For last week, for example, for the frat boy cannibal, Austin Harif, I put up his YouTube channel. I put up official police report documents. There's a bunch of other stuff I put on there. Later today, I'm going to be adding more stuff for Dana, I forgot. You just corrected me on that too.
Dana,
Anyway,
you're
this
good.
lady, Dana's, I'm going to be adding more stuff for Dana's so that our supporters over there will have extra information and photos and documents on that as well, things that we didn't share on here. And then it's just going to keep going from there. Going to add a couple more tiers later this weekend because there's just so much stuff we can share. And anything, that we get for support goes straight back into the show. It helps us get better audio, better, interweb, speeds and shit like that.
Faces and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe eventually we'll be able to get to travel a little bit, depending on where we get with all this. We're going to have a sponsorship coming up soon. So we're really excited for that one. We'll talk about that when it happens. And oh yeah, and we also have Instagram now. That Miss Desiree has a fun little game that she wants to start because we're not going to be telling you guys what the topic's going to be for the next week anymore. What are we going to be doing, Desiree?
Instead of telling you guys the topic at the end of each episode, I've kind of come up with this thing. I'm going to get on Instagram starting probably Sunday after, we've finished and we've decided who we're going to discuss next. I'm going to give you guys clues, whether it be a simple picture of maybe an item that they use, not exact one, of course, but just one to give you clues throughout the week. I figure about Thursday night, if one of you guys have actually guessed who we are going to be discussing, or whoever we decide, if nobody actually guesses, I guess we could do that. But I do want to do like a prize, if you will, or I make epoxy resins. I do a lot of cool things with it. I can put cool stickers inside of them, little soap
cute.
Nothing fancy.
I like that.
I've got this one. This one's my favorite one. It looks pink right now, but if
it looks kind of blood drippy almost a little bit.
Oh yes, I love the liquid color. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. I have a
stick your hand behind it so we can, because it kind of
see it a little better.
There you go. I like that.
I can put temporary tattoos in them. I can do all kinds of cool stuff. But I figured we get some merch stickers or something like that eventually someday and add them in there. And even if you just want something neat and nifty, you're going to win a prize if you can guess the actual next topic we're going to be discussing. I think it'll be pretty cool with the clues. I'll go from Monday through Thursday, and then Thursday night kind of figure out who's the winner or who voted who just was on there the most if nobody actually decides, and we'll have some pretty cool stuff for you guys. Awesome. And I think it's really neat to keep everybody active throughout the week so they know what's coming up and kind of get them amped up and sharing more. Please share more. We love you guys. Yeah. Already we love who we have, but we love more.
Yeah, we love interacting with all you guys and getting new people to jump on board with us. We don't read a lot of the comments for the show because it does get put up on several audio platforms. We're actually waiting for iHeartRadio and Pandora right now. You have to wait for those. It's not just instantly like BuzzSprout and Stitcher. You just sign up and go straight with those. But iHeartRadio and Pandora put you on a waiting list for a couple of weeks and then you get approved. So eventually we'll be on those as well. But yeah, you guys make sure you guys hit up all the links in the description below, like and share this video, and we will see you guys next weekend with a new topic. So if you guys aren't on Instagram, get on Instagram so you guys can follow along with our true crime game that we got going on throughout the week and win a prize, or don't win a prize. I don't know.
Or if nobody guesses, I guess we could also do that. Whoever was the most, had the most comments of guessing will get to choose the topic maybe for us on a following podcast. I think that would be kind of cool too, just to kind of include our fans in the mix.
Absolutely.
A little bit more.
Absolutely. Our fellow couch detectives.
There we go. Couch detectives. I love that.
Oh yeah. Because that's all we are, basically. We're all couch detectives. We're all
That's
sitting here
all it
just
is.
binging on this shit and just like, give me the garbage. I want to eat it. Just give
I would eat it. So now I'm going
it.
to share a little story right quick before we
Okay.
go. My husband calls me uh, the ultimate CSI. Christmas Eve of '05, we were living in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Our car was broken into. My wallet was stolen.
Oh,
And of course, the car was wrecked. All our CDs were thrown about. Rob's military stuff was thrown about.
oh,
I had just gone out to the car and gotten out Monkey's Christmas gift from Santa.
oh,
And I forgot to lock the car back.
oh,
So
shit.
I felt like crud. I pop up in the middle of the night and I was like, wait a minute. I just heard a car door shut. And then I heard tires squeal out. So we go out there. We find out my wallet's been stolen and all this, all that. Or at first, I take that back. I didn't realize my wallet was stolen yet. I woke up in the middle of the night and goes, oh crap, my wallet was in the glove box. My military ID, my driver's license, my social security card,
Oh
Robbie's social
man.
security card, everything was gone. And of course, it's Christmas Eve. So Christmas Day couldn't, we called and filed a report, but you know how that goes around the holidays in the South.
Mm-hmm.
When the officer came out, before he came out, Rob and I had gone on post. Or no, I'm sorry, it was after. After he left, Rob and I went to go on post to go find out what we needed to do to get me a new ID and everything. When we were pulling out of our subdivision, there was a dead deer that was there. I know that sounds funny as all get out, but there was a dead deer laying on the side of the road. Right in front of that dead deer's head was a pocketbook. Now, mind you, my wallet was stolen, not a purse, just my wallet itself. I told Rob, I said, if we can't get on post, I want you to stop on the way back home if that is still sitting there. He goes, okay. So sure enough, we go on post, we do what we had to, came back, and I was like, it's still there, pull over. I get out of the car, I walk over to the dead deer, I pick up the pocketbook, and lo and behold, there's my wallet with every card, everything was still in there. I had this gut feeling that it was in that wallet or in that purse. Come to find out, I called the officer back. I was like, hey, I found my wallet. And he goes, wait, where'd you find your wallet? And I was like, you're not going to believe this. I thought we were driving and I saw it on the side of the road and I told my husband to stop. I had a feeling. Come to find out, somebody else's items were stolen too, like military, I guess you would call it certification cards.
Mm-hmm.
And they had gone on just a snatching spree in the vehicles, but they were looking for just cash because they didn't touch anything. Of course, I canceled everything and got new cards sent. But ever since then, Rob has called me the CSI detective of the house. And when the dirt bike was stolen off our front porch in Columbus, Georgia, I tracked that down with the woman who was trying to stuff it in the back of her little car.
Oh,
I pull up with
Jesus.
my hatch open on my Endeavor, and I said, since you already got my dirt bike in your hands, you might want to go ahead and put it in the bed of my vehicle before I call the cops and have you arrested for theft. And she goes, I didn't steal it. I said, no, but you're in possession of stolen property.
That makes you a thief.
That makes you a thief. She goes, oh, my boyfriend was driving to work and saw it in the ditch. And I was like, sure. Because those folks waited until after Rob left for PT, but before Robbie and I went out to go to the bus stop.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
People are scandalous.
I track mofos down. I don't put my foot. No.
This woman is ruthless. She will catch you.
Don't mess with me. But yeah, just some little stories about myself to kind of let you guys know that I definitely have a passion for true crime and anything that involves finding stuff that's lost.
That's why I'm glad that I got you on board to do this. So, because I love true crime as well. I want somebody who is passionate and into it as much as I am or more. Because that's what'll make this show work. So
Definitely.
It'll keep the folks entertained.
Exactly.
So, oh my gosh. Well, this was a good episode, and I cannot wait till next week. I can't wait to see what you're gonna put up for our next topic this next coming weekend.
We'll have to see.
No, it's my weekend to it's my week to choose the topic, so this is going to be a little interesting. I want to see how creative you get with this. So she's like,
to be continued. Don't say a word.
dot. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, we are at time. Thank you guys for joining us so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for liking and sharing as well, because I see a couple of likes up there in the little box. You guys can't see it, but we can. So yeah, like I said, make sure you guys hit up the descriptions, the links in the description below, and we will see you guys next Saturday. Okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. All right.
Until next time, guys. Have a good one.